Hey everyone, Jake here for American Muscle, and in this video we're taking a look at this Roush catback exhaust with the black tips, fitting 2024 and newer Mustang GT Fastbacks without the factory active exhaust. This is the right setup for the S650 owner who's looking to make more noise and wants a high quality system. Roush has really brought some heat and volume with this exhaust, and accordingly we're going to give this one a 4 out of 5 on our loudness meter. Make no mistake, this is pretty darn loud, but it also looks and sounds just about perfect. While you will need one additional piece to make this fit properly, it's worth the extra spend to get this system for the killer good looks and sound. Nobody makes an exhaust for the Mustang quite the way that Roush does. This system continues their legacy and brings it to the S650, and it really wakes up that 4th gen Coyote V8 and lets you take advantage of those new dual intakes and additional power, plus it gives the car plenty of attitude. This one is deep, it's rowdy, it's everything you expect from a Coyote powered Mustang GT. And that's mostly thanks to the fact that the mufflers here are quite small. Now, in addition to this being a full catback, your stock mufflers and resonators are removed in favor of these smaller canister style units at the back. As you can tell, they have quite a bit of resonance to them, and they're pretty much straight through. So you get to hear all that Coyote goodness both inside and outside. Now it might just be me, but you can almost hear every individual cylinder firing, especially at idle. There's a lot of character with this system. You get some nice barks and burbles thrown in there as well. Now also included with this system is an integrated X pipe. Now this has a couple of benefits. One is the sound. Since it opens up the exhaust a bit more by way of this crossover here in the center, you get more sound and it can help make some additional power, especially at higher RPMs, as that smooth transition here is going to help pull the exhaust gases through the system smoothly. But the other big benefit with an X pipe is that it also helps combat drone. By allowing those uneven exhaust gas pulses to cross over in the system, it eliminates dissonant frequencies that can cause you that head pounding drone, which you might find on some less expensive or less well-made systems. That means you can actually enjoy your exhaust day to day, and you can still take your Mustang on a nice long road trip without the need for earplugs. Now this system in particular is finished off with these quad black tips as well, which provides you with a nice visual update. Especially coming from the small single factory tips, these are bigger and they've got that cool slash cut design. So they do a lot for the look. However, this is where the extra piece comes in. You're gonna need to get the dual tip compatible rear valance in order to have these fit properly. We do have that available on our site as well, so you can snag it at the same time if you decide this is the one you wanna go with. Construction here is all T304 stainless steel, and it is mandrel bent. T304 is about the best you can get. The sound is good, the flow is great, and the material is really resistant to rust and corrosion. So especially if you drive your car year round where it snows or rains like we have here in Pennsylvania, you're not gonna have to worry about this rusting out on you. The tips are T304 as well, and they've got that nice slash cut design, but they have that matte black finish over top for some additional good looks and protection. And as you expect from a company with a heritage like Roush, the build quality here is pretty excellent too. All the welds, especially on the muffler here, look really nice. They've got some nice color to them. Everything looks good even when you take it out of the box. Almost a shame that you don't get to see anything but the tips once it's installed on the car. Now, of course, all that quality is going to be reflected in the price. Coming in at about $2,800, this one does not come cheap. It's very much a premium option. But again, the build and material quality are second to none, and the sound is awesome. So if those are priorities for you, gather your pennies. You're definitely going to enjoy it though if you can stomach the price. Installation gets a 2 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and you can expect the job to take you around 2 hours to complete. It may take you a little bit more time because you'll have to swap out that rear valance as well, but really not too much more than that. Otherwise, this is a standard catback exhaust that features a bolt-on installation, and it's going to utilize all your factory exhaust hanger locations, so you don't have to make any permanent modifications to your car to get this fitted. It also comes with all the clamps that you need to get it installed as well. With that, let's head on out to the shop and we'll walk you through the install process.
For this install, you need a 3/8 impact, 3/8 extension, a 15 and 13 millimeter swivel socket, a hammer, exhaust hanger tool, and a pry bar. All right, today we're gonna be installing an exhaust on our Mustang. Now we will be going to a quad tip exhaust. As you can see, our factory exhaust is a single tip, and so is our factory diffuser. We did install a MP Concepts Dark Horse style rear diffuser to fit our new quad exhaust. So now we're gonna watch a quick video how to install a stock one, then we'll come back here to install the new one.
So the first thing we're gonna do is come to the double flange behind our cat. We have 4 15mm bolts that we can loosen up with a 15mm socket. Now we're going to leave this just like that for now as we work on the rest. One thing to keep in mind is when we go to pull this off, this little hook is keeping this on, so you're going to have to get a flathead screwdriver to pull back on that on both sides when we go to remove it. Next, we can come right behind our rear diff to this hanger. There's one on each side of this bracket. There's a 13mm bolt holding it on. So I've got a 13mm swivel socket on an extension to pop this off. And now we'll just come to the other side and do the same exact thing. And now with them both removed, you can push up to get those hangers off the hooks. And do that same thing on the other side. Now, last thing we need to do before we can remove this is remove these 2 bolts that were on the inside of those 2 hangers behind the rear diff. So I'm using that same 13mm socket with an extension. Now with those removed, we can push it up off the hook and pull that down to get the clearance we need. So now I've got myself a buddy to support the weight of the rear of the exhaust while I work on the front. We're gonna push this towards the rear to disconnect these 2 pipes, and then we can pull it forward to pull it out of the back hangers. So now with our exhaust removed, we can take an exhaust hanger remover tool to pop off these 2 hangers because we will have to reuse them for our new exhaust. Now, last thing we need to pop off is our 2 clamps that are at the front of the exhaust. You can take a rubber mallet and get the edge of a pry bar on the edge of the clamp to tap these off.
So we're gonna start off in our front here. As you can see, we already have one of our factory clamps back on. We're just gonna put the other one on. Just make sure you line up the tabs on the factory pipe. Once we have that on, we can get our X pipe on, so they will slide right into our factory clamps. And then now we can get our axle pipes on. Now we're gonna get our axle pipe on, so we're gonna start off, we're gonna grab one of our smaller clamps. Most of our clamps are all the same size. 2 larger ones will be for the tips. We're gonna get our smaller clamps over, let that rest over. Slide this pipe into our X pipe. At the same time, we can put our isolator on our hanger. Just get that hooked up into place. Now we're gonna get our muffler on. So we already have our clamp over our pipe. Slide that into our hanger first, and then into our axle pipe. We can just let that rest there. You can go ahead and do the same thing for the other axle pipe and muffler. All right, so we're gonna come back to our hangers here, and we're just gonna reinstall our 13mm bolts that we took out. So you're gonna thread it all in by hand. And we're gonna grab our impact, extension, and 13mm swivel socket and tighten all of those down. Now we're gonna come to the front and we're gonna tighten down our front clamps, grab an impact and 15mm socket. You just wanna make sure that the X pipe is level. Now we're gonna come back to the back of the X pipe and tighten our 2 clamps down here. the same thing, impacted 15mm socket. Now we're going to come back to our clamp at our muffler. Same thing, impacted 15mm socket. Tighten that down. Go ahead, do the same thing for the other muffler. Last thing we need to do is put our tip on. So you see the Roush logo on the outside. Another easy way to tell is the one that sticks out further will be on the inside. We're gonna grab our clamp for our tip, slide that over our muffler. Here's where you can adjust how far you want it out. And we're gonna grab our impact and 15mm socket and tighten that down. Go ahead, do the same thing with the other tip.
That's going to wrap it up here for our review and install of the Roush catback exhaust with black tips, fitting 2024 and newer Mustang GT fastbacks without the factory active exhaust. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, for all things Mustang, be sure to keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.